BBC Insider raises alarming questions about coverage of Tommy Robinson ahead of election. You're not going to believe what just dropped. While most of the public was glued to surface-level debates and flashy headlines, something far more revealing and disturbing was unfolding quietly behind the curtain. Welcome to Back Britain Unfold. An insider at the BBC, yes, the BBC, has come forward with claims that are now sparking serious questions about impartiality, political influence, and the public broadcaster's role in shaping pre-election narratives. And at the centre of this media firestorm? Tommy Robinson. Now, whether you support him, oppose him, or simply follow the controversy around him, this isn't just about Robinson himself. It's about how information is managed, how stories are framed, and how certain voices, whether rightly or wrongly, seem to get spotlighted or shut out. So, what exactly happened? According to reports making the rounds in independent media circles and political forums, a former BBC contributor, someone who worked on background research for election specials, allegedly raised internal concerns over editorial bias, particularly in how certain figures were being profiled ahead of the national vote. The most shocking part? This individual claimed there was pressure from higher-ups to frame controversial figures like Robinson in a very specific light, one that fit the expected public narrative. Now, we need to be clear. No evidence has been released publicly confirming an outright plot, but the language used by this insider has been enough to spark major concern online. And then, just hours later, media heavyweight Piers Morgan took to X and didn't hold back. If these allegations are even halfway true, then the BBC has some serious explaining to do. Journalism is about truth, not agenda. His comment alone sent shockwaves through the platform. People started pulling old interviews, comparing tone and treatment. Clips of past BBC segments involving Robinson resurfaced, especially a now viral confrontation with reporter John Sweeney, and the comment sections lit up. The BBC is publicly funded, paid for by the British taxpayer. That means neutrality isn't just a preference, it's a duty. But neutrality doesn't mean silence. And that's the tightrope the BBC constantly walks, especially when it comes to polarising public figures. Tommy Robinson, founder of the English Defence League, and a man with multiple arrests and a deeply controversial track record, isn't new to headlines. But as he's recently started making more appearances in grassroots events, street interviews, and independent live streams, his voice is gaining traction again, particularly among disenfranchised working-class voters who feel ignored by the mainstream. And that's where things get even more complicated. Because if someone in the BBC was concerned enough to suggest internal bias, whether intended or not, then that's a red flag, not just for the BBC, for all of us. Reaction hasn't just come from the right either. A former Channel 4 political editor, speaking anonymously, told an independent blog, "If we begin filtering editorial tone through political calculation, then we're no longer informing the public. We are shaping them. That's not journalism. That's marketing." And it doesn't end there. A growing number of viewers are demanding an official response from the BBC. Some want transparency over editorial guidelines. Others are calling for a third-party audit of how election coverage is handled across all parties and political voices. One tweet read, "This isn't about Tommy Robinson anymore. This is about whether you trust what you're watching, and many of us don't." So where does this go from here? Well, we may not get a public admission. Don't hold your breath for a BBC press conference. But this moment, this leak, has cracked something open. Because when trust in media begins to fray, especially right before a national election, that's not a media story. That's a democracy story. People aren't just asking, who should I vote for anymore? They're asking, can I even trust the platforms delivering the message? And that, more than any headline, is the question that could define this election cycle. Whether or not these allegations are ever confirmed in full, they've already changed the conversation. This was today's important update. We want to make it clear that our videos do not contain any kind of misinformation. Our only goal is to deliver true and verified news from across the UK, right here on Britain Unfold. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the Britain Unfold channel. Thank you.